Okay, check 1, 2, microphone. What is this? I think we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Unlicensed Magic. You may notice we are down a couple of players today. We do have a couple of people out, so I know we ended last week on a cliffhanger, but we're gonna just delay that cliffhanger for another week. And instead give you much more to worry about and concern you and keep you up in the middle of the night, because that's what we do here. So first things first, I think let's go around the horn and let everyone introduce themselves. Today, of course, I'd like your name, character's name, where people can find you on TikTok and or Twitch, as well as what your character's greatest fear is.
Ooh.
First up, Crazy Gamer Lady.
I am Crazy Gamer Lady. How y'all doing? I play Ichasi, the lizard folk druid. You can find me on TikTok. Um, Ikasi's greatest fear. Fear is not a thing that she worries about. In fact, she does not worry about much. She really is just, can I kill it? No, I should leave.
Okay, fearless. Interesting. The only thing to fear is fear itself.
Sure, let's go with that.
Okay. Next up, Sweet Tea.
All right, hey everyone, what's going on? I'm Sweet Tea. You can find me on TikTok under Bardic Sweet Tea. There are underscores separating the words there. And I am also on Twitch under Sweet Tea Games. No underscores there. I'm going to be playing Verreth. And, biggest fear. Probably being trapped in a room where you can't make any friends.
That's a big fear for me too. A little bit of social anxiety. I get it. I can't make friends. All right, take us home, that one blonde nerd.
Hi, I'm that one blonde nerd on TikTok, Twitch, Insta, like whatever. Let's see. May. I don't think I introduced what she is last week, but she's a half elf, half mind flayer, as we just found out. Shadow sorcerer. May's greatest fear. May's greatest fear is that she's been wrong about magic all this time, and she actually is evil.
Wow.
That's deep.
Man. Nothing, not making friends. I'm secretly evil. Ooh. Like that's a good mix here.
She's worried that people
One of
are
these things
right
is not
about,
like the other.
about magic being evil.
All right.
Just like being wrong either, so
Of course, I am your friend, your host, and your dungeon meister, Dungeons or Dragons. You can call me Quinn. You're already here on Twitch. My TikTok username is the same. So like I said, we're down a couple of players today. So I think what we're going to say is that last night, instead of going into that conversation, everyone went to sleep. And so you wake up in the morning and Meredy and Icaron, or Nikolai, as some of you know him, are just not in their rooms. They've gone off. They've done other things. They must have gotten up early. Of course, as an elf, Nikolai only needs to trance, so he's always up earlier than you guys. And, Meredy keeps weird hours, right? Like, she kind of is Batman a little bit, so, we won't go into that. But there's a few things waiting for you guys in the morning. On the floor underneath your door, both May and Verreth find a letter. Who wants to go first?
Ooh, Verreth is excited. He's like, I have mail.
All right, so it's got a big fancy seal on the back.
Ooh.
And you recognize the seal because you've had letters with the seal on them before, and it's actually a very stylized noose that's in the middle of the wax seal, but that's Jack's seal.
My friend Jack. Oh, he sent me a letter.
Definitely.
Eagerly open the letter.
Of course. And it's pretty short. I don't have it fully written out. I just have like the gist of it. But it invites you and any of your friends to come by today at any time to visit his office. And his office is located on what's called the First Terrace. So the city of Freeport, this side of the city is cut into these terraces, and the first terrace is the highest of them. And that's where a lot of like white collar businesses are. So like the headquarters of the Greater Freeport Shipping, Transportation, and Logistics Company is up there. And that's where he says his office is. And it doesn't really say much more other than that, other than he's invited you and his friends to come, and he'd like to have a chat with you today.
Okay, I will keep that in mind, and I'll go ahead and put that letter in my pocket.
Meanwhile, May, your letter is addressed to a Malin Vindhall Flayer. Now, you know, as most people know in this world, half-elves just traditionally hyphenate their last names because human last names are given down patrilinearly. You take your father's last name, and elven names are given down matrilinearly. You take your mother's last name. So half-elves just take both, and they hyphenate. That's what they've done for centuries. And I think you know where the Flayer comes from.
Now.
And it's interesting that whoever has written you this letter has included that as the last name. But you might recognize that first last name. You could make like a history check on that.
Oh, this is going to go well. Okay. All right. I have all my beginning in here today.
Because that is your full name, your full elven name. But you don't really like have last names. You're not an orphan. Your parents are alive, but you weren't raised by them. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, like she knows her full elven name. I think she's probably heard it like twice. Oh, that's a nat 20 on a history check.
Not only do you recognize the name Vindhall, but you remember that like it's been in the news recently and you've heard some rumors about it. That's the last name of the King of the Elves. She's King Vindhall. And it's not like one of those families where there's a bunch of them. There's a big question about succession because her only daughter has been missing for years. And she doesn't have like other family and cousins and stuff. So someone implying that you're from that family, it, first of all, is very surprising, but second of all, would be a big deal.
I think at this point, May's like, am I dreaming? Like, what else happened in the last, 24, 48 hours? I mean,
just to warn you, it's not gonna slow down.
Yeah.
This is your D&D game.
For those not aware, May thought she was half elf, half human. Then she found out she's half elf, half mind flayer. She doesn't really know what that is, but this thing in somebody's head, she recognized it, knew what it was. She speaks a language she didn't know she speaks. She can read minds, and her sister just told her that her dad basically took over the government of the country she grew up in. So she's having a bit of a, this is all in like, 24 hours now? 48? Yeah. Bit of a thing. Yeah, so she's going to read that, and I really, really, really have some words for Ileana. And I think she's gonna be just a little bit suspicious. Like, really? How? What check? Can I make like an insight check on a letter?
Well, so have you opened it and read it yet?
Oh, hang on. I think knowing her, she's gonna maybe make an Arcana check to make sure there's not some weird like magic or trap or something on
Oh,
it.
for sure. Yeah, you can totally do that.
I'm sure this will go just as well. Oh, actually, Oh, where did my roll 20 go? It's a 24.
So there is a little bit of magic in the seal itself. And you recognize this actually as fairly standard practice for like the nobility and like society. When you crack the seal, whoever sent it to you will know the seal was cracked. So it's like a red receipt on an email. Like they'll know that you opened it and looked at it. But that's the only magic on or in the envelope at all.
Okay. So she's gonna just deep breath and pop the seal and open the letter.
Yeah, and it's just a little card, and it says, "The Viscount Gentiri von Aldsgrave hereby requests your presence for high tea with 1 to 2 chaperones. Your humble servant," and then it's like a big loopy signature that it takes you a second to like look through, but because the name is up there, you're like, oh, that must be Viscount Gentiri von Aldsgrave.
I'm writing this down so that I remember. Okay. She's thinking to herself, I just ran into the Prince of Keldoris on a train, befriended the son of the harbor masters, and now I'm being invited to visit a bite. Okay, she's gonna take a minute and then walk out and go knock on the doors for Verreth and Ichasi.
Okay. How much does May know or not know about like the nobility and society and things? Do you want to establish that now? Do you want to find out, or do you want to make those checks later?
I mean, we can try and figure out how much she knows. I mean, I'm sure she's dealt with it. I'm sure she's like aware because she read a lot and she has to deal with people and stuff. But I don't think she's exactly been to high tea before, probably.
Okay. So she hasn't like been the one to infiltrate the ball and things before.
Has she? Gosh, I don't know. Maybe like once in a Brezia or something, but
okay. So like she knows what fork to use.
Yeah. I think I'm sure Ileana made sure she knew like the bait, like how to, and I'm sure she's read etiquette books. Like I'm sure she understands it. I just don't know that she's.
So then you're going to knock on some doors.
Okay. Yeah. I'll knock on Ichasi's door first. Ichasi?
Yes?
Do you mind if I come in?
Now, was Verreth staying in the room with Ichasi? Because I remember there was some talk about Jasper's stuff having been in there already.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Did we talk about room situations? I'm not sure if we were all in the same room.
So, until introducing Verreth, there were 3 rooms with 2 beds on this floor.
Okay.
May and Amerity are staying together in one room. Originally, May and Jasper were going to stay in that room, but that was nixed by Amerity fairly quickly. Ichasi and Jasper were in one room, and Nikolai had his own. That was going to be where Zoltan was going to stay if he wound up staying with them there. But then Jasper has gone missing, and what was introduced to us last week was you hopping into that room. And I guess Nikolai just still having his own room, which is totally fine by me.
Yeah, it works.
But just so that everyone kind of knows where they were at. So May probably did knock on Nikolai's door first and found it open, and he's not there. And, of course, you would have seen that Amerity's not in your room. So if you go knock on their door, you can talk to both of them at once if you want.
Okay. Yeah. So she's going to come in. Oh, I think she's already checked. Yeah, the others are gone. That's weird. Anyway,
Just
that's
that's weird.
Oh,
Whatever.
they're gone. That's weird. Okay.
Yeah, they're not going to be up to anything interesting.
No need to worry about that.
She's not. I think at this point she's just like, "They're whatever. I have too much else on my mind."
May knows them well enough to know that they would just disappear on time to time because they got stuff to do.
Yeah,
Like you might do that in the future too.
There's a really good chance that might happen. Maybe even in a couple weeks. No, just kidding. Yeah. So I think she's gonna look between the two of them and like look at the letter again.
Did you want to share what's in the letter with
So,
us, or?
Verreth, do you happen to know anything about the Viscount Gentiri von Elsgrave? Did I say that right?
That's a fantastic question. Do I?
That would be a history check.
Okay, let me go ahead and roll that for you. History is not my forte. No.
Von Aldsgrave is a elven name, and a viscount is like some kind of noble.
Okay, so I know very little. Okay. I'm like, is that name supposed to mean something to me?
I got invited to high tea on the, what's it called again, the upper
Far side.
on far side by this Viscount, and that's weird.
Do you not normally receive fancy invitations?
No. No, usually if I get correspondence, it's a little more subtle. But yeah, so how would you guys like to go to high tea?
Sounds like it could be fun.
High tea?
It's like this fancy. I haven't really been to one, but I've read about it and I've heard about it. It's like this really fancy soiree kind of thing that like the nobility do to like, I don't know, meet each other and learn stuff and hang out. I haven't really been to one.
So we get to make friends.
Yes, we get to make friends. Yes, with people with a lot of power and influence and money.
Oh.
Father does say no, learn as much as you can.
It will be a very good learning opportunity for all of us, I think.
So, what makes this tea high? Like, what makes it more special than any other tea party?
It might be the herbs used.
Ooh.
I don't think it's that kind of high.
So
I think it's
Verreth would know of Farside that the split, the fjord that Freeport is built into. Farside is literally on the other side of those cliffs, and it's higher. It's literally like a couple 100 feet extra higher into the air. So it might be high tea because it's the altitude.
Oh, that could make sense. So does that mean tea at lower altitudes would be low tea?
not sure that that's what it means either. I think it's just like a fancy name because, you know, they've got a lot of money and power and influence and they have to be fancy, you know? Something. I haven't really spent like a lot of time with people like that. I've just read a lot and, you know, once or twice, you know. So,
Kind of a misnomer. I can call it fancy tea.
you should suggest that. No, don't suggest that.
Wait, should I or should I not? I need to know.
Don't suggest that. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm a little off this morning. I'm not usually like this. So
Is everything okay?
yeah, no, everything's it's great. Yep, everything's fine. It's all fine. It's good.
I'm going to do an insight check. Garrett's a little worried about her well-being.
Okay. So just quick, because I know you haven't been playing with us as long, Sweet. When players want to use skills against each other, I let you guys set your own DC and tell me how it goes. So Blondie will be telling us how and what you glean from your insight check here.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, roll your insight check. I'm gonna roll the deception check, but at disadvantage because I don't think she's on her A game right now.
Ooh.
Oh.
A dirty
That's
20.
a dirty 20. Yep.
Okay. And that is...
Not a 20, I'm guessing.
No, the first one was slightly better. The second one's definitely not. So that is only an 11.
So what does he get from you? What's that body language telling him?
Yeah, she's like, well, and he wouldn't know that this is unusual if Ichasi knew body language, but she's kind of like playing with the letter a little bit in her hand, and her, the other hand's kind of like, she's fidgety, and her, as you can already tell, like her language is a little more, like she was very like assertive the night before, but like her language is a little more scattered, like she's just not quite, there
Okay,
all the
I'm
time.
going to notice that she's being real nervous and fidgety, but I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm not going to pry into it right now. I'm just going to take a mental note that she's not telling me everything, but I'll probably find out later.
Okay. So she's going to take another look at both of you. One thing I do know, and she's going to kind of take a deep breath and kind of go back into like mission mode. We need to look a little nicer if we're going to go to this. So, Ichasi, do you think your brother could help us out?
I'm sure he'd be happy to. Maybe.
Maybe.
I have a set of vestments in my bag. I'm not sure if that's fancy.
I think we might be going for a slightly different vibe today. Like we don't want to stand out. One thing I know is anytime you go to any event like this, you have to be able to blend in, or everyone will see it, and you don't want that.
Remember, you are speaking to a lizard folk.
And a fearbolg.
A fearbolg. Who is like 8 feet tall, right?
About I think I said 7'6".
Okay, 7'6", so not quite the full 8. But you're speaking.
You're talking to a lizard folk and a furbolg about blending in and not being noticed.
And as she says that, she looks at the two of them and she's just kind of like inside, not externally, because she doesn't want to be rude, but she's just like.
Yeah, you're taking Shaq and a dinosaur to high tea.
In her mind,
I mean, even Ichasi is saying, "How would we blend in?"
Well,
in her mind, May's
actually,
like, this would be a good training exercise for the future kids at the conservatory. Anyway,
how disguised do you need me to be? Because I can use disguise self to make myself look different.
Do either? Oh, I have. Oh.
So I do want to quickly butt in here with everyone, because I know it's something that we've talked about before, and I just want to remind everyone. Yes, we're talking about Verreth being tall and big as a fearbolg, but like racism is not a thing in this world. There's a lot of prejudice based on magic, but that's really our only prejudice. So you wouldn't be uninvited or not allowed or anything for being a fearbolg or a lizard folk. Yes, you are going to look different, so people will notice you, but that's like, if you were 7'6", people are going to notice you anyway, right?
Yeah.
But you don't have to worry about like not being allowed or not being invited or those sorts of things.
Right. I think Verreth is she's saying that we need to blend in, and obviously, regardless of what race you are, being 7'6".
Oh yeah, for sure.
Doesn't blend in.
You don't blend well. That's for sure.
So fearbolgs actually have a racial ability where they have a special kind of disguise self, which will shorten their height to a maximum of 3 feet if they want to. So I could actually be an average sized person if I wanted.
Oh, that could come in handy. I just usually when I go to places I try to blend in, but I mean, I don't want to force you guys to go that far. We can just dress the part. But if you want to try and disguise yourselves, I also have some illusory magic. If you want to look, you know, like somebody else, but I'm not worried. I think if we dress the part, that's enough.
Okay.
I will go wake Krata and see if he can help.
Okay. Thank you, Ichasi.
So I don't think we've ever opened the door on the other side of the hall yet. But there's one door that leads to the quarters where everyone who lives and works at the Emporium lives. So you're gonna go knock on that door, Ichasi?
Yep.
Okay. You knock on that door, and I know we were talking a little bit earlier that I was going to give you a chance to get to know one of the other NPCs here a little better. Which one would you like it to be, Letty or Spring?
Honestly, I've liked Letty a little bit better. So
Okay, because it's Letty, she opens the door in a towel. And Letty is a tiefling for the audience. She has bright pink, like bubblegum pink skin, and like cotton candy blue hair. And she opens the door and she's in her towel and she goes, "Oh, Ichasi, hey, how you doing? Are you looking for Krata? You know, he's been at it for hours already. He's downstairs. How'd your meeting go last night?"
it went well.
Good to hear. Oh, actually, you know, I could use some help stocking in the shop later today. Do you think you could maybe grab a couple of your friends and stop by for a minute?
I'm sure we can find the time for it.
Fantastic. And, you know, if I got some extras, I'll slip you some. I know your elf friend was looking for a bag of holding the other day. We'll see what we can do. I gotta go hop back in the shower. I'll see you later. And she closes the door and walks off.
So with this new information, Akasi heads down to Krata's. It's not like she's bothered by nudity or anything.
No, I don't think she is.
Honestly, she'd be more confused as to why she's covering up with a towel. What's the use of that?
It's fair. It's much how Krata would see it.
Oh goodness, this is
Anywho,
gonna be a
so
fun adventure. I'm excited.
the group of you head down to Krata's shop, the Lounging Lizard. And you can see he doesn't have anyone in the shop with him right now, but he's at his counter and he's working on a set of clothing right now. He's, you know, stitching it out and everything, and he'll look up and say, "Oh, hey everybody, how's it going?"
Brother,
Doing good.
Hi.
Good morning.
we have been invited to a high tea.
Oh, you guys are gonna need some clothes.
Yeah, that would
Yes.
be lovely if you do you, I'm sure you know exactly what the fashion is right now on Farside, right?
Well, I mean, it
What?
depends. Like, how closely do you want to associate yourself with, like, say, the Society of Abrezia? Do you want to come off as though you support the Duke? Are you going to be a little bit more mercantile? Do you want to come across as if you might be from Quel'Doris? There's a couple of people wearing some Dwarfheim fashions right now. I don't understand the political statement that's making, but you know, it's happening. I would guess. Here's just my guess. Who invited you?
May's gonna think for a second if she should tell Krata, but then remember the message from Danny yesterday. The Viscount Gentiri von Eldsgrave.
Oh, the Von Elsgraves. You know, they have been long time supporters of the monarchy. You're gonna want like slightly elven fashions. You're gonna want to come off.
That's
come
what I was
across
thinking.
as if
I
you
wanted to
support
look
the
like you're
king.
from the.
That's gonna get you into his heart. So let me see.
Perfect.
Elves, they're doing the high collars these days. fitted slimming. That's, you know what, you got the figure for it, May. You do. You do. This is gonna be great. It,
So the different kinds of clothes we wear would affect how people see us?
oh yeah, of course. What? And you notice he is again, like I explained last time that you saw him, wearing a suit. And it's a well-fitted suit, and it's got joints for him as a lizard folk, right? It's built very differently than one for a human would be. And he looks at you and he says, "Do you think I would wear this if I didn't have to be a walking billboard for my shop everywhere I go?"
That's a fair point. But I just thought we needed fancy clothes. I didn't think our clothes needed to make a political statement.
Oh. Well, I mean, you could just show up wearing whatever, but I mean, that would say its own thing, wouldn't it?
Would it would it say something good?
It would say you're deciding not to ascribe to the particular values of that society. Now, good, bad, or indifferent, people who have decided to ascribe to the values of that society are going to take that how they're going to take it.
Hmm.
For
Again,
this mission,
I'm wearing pants, you know.
I see
for
the
this
pants.
mission, I
Nice
think
pants.
we definitely don't want to do that.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, I just said, I was just, sorry, I turned to Verreth, and I think for this mission, that's not the statement we want to make. We definitely want to, I think we want to look at, give us, oh god, I can talk this morning, give as much an impression of the Elven Kingdom in the Northlands as possible.
No, that's high tea today.
Hmm. So,
Yes.
is it safe to say that people who are not friends of the Elven Kingdom will not be there?
Well, high tea is a more private affair. It's probably just gonna be you and him. Maybe a chaperone, a maid, a butler, you know, that sort of thing.
Oh.
So I mean, I know the political affiliation of his family, but I don't know the Viscount personally. He could be the black sheep. You know, a lot of black sheep find themselves here in Freeport. Several of the younger brothers of dukes and things who have a penchant for magic and can't stay at home in Abrezia or Queldoris, or those whose tastes run to the slightly more exotic. But, like I said, I never met the Viscount. I just, know a bit about his family.
Could you tell us about his family, Kata?
Well, like I said, the strong supporters of the king and the monarchy have been for several years. As far as I'm aware, one of them is still in the retinue of Her Majesty the King. I mean, they're a fairly large family. Definitely got some. Got that. The Duchess is the one who works for the king. There's a couple of barons, viscounts, etc. A couple of titles to go around in the family at this point. Being a viscount, he's more important than some, less important than others. Kind of lower on the rungs of nobility when you're talking about comparing him to like the king per se. But who knows?
Okay. Well, is that going to be too fast? Does the letter say what time high tea is?
High tea is at 4 p.m.
Perfect.
May knows enough about society to know high tea is at 4 p.m.
It's like, I better ask because I have no idea. Yeah. Is that going to be doable in time, Krata?
Well, I got a project I was working on for Max, the Minotaur who runs the forge, that I could probably fix up to Verreth a little. I'd have to take it into the shoulders a bit, and he pulls out like a measuring tape and he starts just like futzing with you as he's talking.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you're not offended, Ichasi, but I've been working on some things for you. Here's my question, Ichasi. Suited dress.
Hmm. Whichever allows me to move easier.
Honestly, it's gonna be a dress as long as we skip the corset.
I'm imagining Ichasi in a dress right now. Excuse me.
I'm thinking something
I just think about
A-line,
Mace doing something.
skirts like just below knee length. So yeah, bit summer dressy.
As long as it's not a halter dress.
No, it definitely has straps.
A deep V-neck. Oh gosh, this is it's kind of, I mean, I'm not going to say fortunate, but it's adds a whole other level that May ends up bringing these two. I love it. I love it.
Well, the thing is, as he brings it out, and like Kratos was saying, "Oh, I kind of been futzing with something, maybe a little bit for Ichasi." It's beautiful. He is a master craftsman, and this is the best thing you've ever seen from him. He has put love into making a dress for his sister, just as a side project.
Aww.
That's beautiful, Krata. Wow.
Oh, I
I
just
knew
been,
you were good, but that is incredible.
It's well, welcome to Freeport, sis.
Aww.
Thank you, brother. You have taken time in this, and I appreciate it very much.
Well, you're welcome. And May, as for you, it would take some time to throw something together. You got something I could alter?
It's not great, but and she's gonna like reach in her bag and where she's got that like folded up dress that she took off the cleric that they killed. Oops. Yeah, she's gonna pull that dress out and be like, "I've got this."
Well,
I'm sorry, my line of work doesn't usually. I don't usually need nice clothing. I do have it, but this particular venture, I didn't think I would need it. So
I will do my best.
okay.
I'm going to remind you, you had previously mentioned to me that you were maybe going to get some clothes for Thaddeus. Or Triple
Oh,
T.
that's right. That's right. I'm gonna pull him out of my pocket and put him on my shoulder. Like, hi. Give him a cracker. Good morning.
Good morning.
Crowder, this is kind of silly, but at some point, do you think you could make like just a tiny little, maybe like I don't know, maybe cummerbund and bow tie for Thaddeus here?
Crowder looks at him and he goes, "Yeah. We I do some stuff for little dogs. Some of the nobles like to carry them around in their purses. This is a little smaller, right? Yeah, I could throw something together. You want what, like a bow tie and a cummerbund?
Yeah, I think. What do you think, Thaddeus?
I don't know. You sure he's not a waistcoat type of rat?
She's gonna pick him up and kind of look at him. She's gonna message him and just be like, what do you like?" And she's gonna show an image of both to him.
I like the tie.
Okay. So, yeah, I think we'll go with that.
Of course, Krata can't hear the conversation you've had with
This is true.
Triple T.
Yeah, I am just realizing I don't know as much about men's fashion as I should. I think we'll start with the maybe like, how about just a bow tie for now?
I can do that.
Oh.
That'd be easy enough. You know, he's so small, I'll even pre-tie it for you. Make it like one of those adjustable strap-on ones.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. And just let us know what we owe you.
You know, I've already got a tab started for Nikolai. I mean, he paid me back already, but I'll just put it on his tab, right? I mean, he's like the leader of your organization sort of thing, right? That's what we learned last night, so... Yeah, when I see him, I'll just make sure to charge him a fair price.
Perfect. She's gonna watch Crota really closely on the whole fair price thing. Nikolai can handle it.
Hey, leave all expenses to the boss. Make sure you get receipts too.
Yeah, make sure you log your travel time.
You can put it on the company card.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a tax write-off.
It's business. Sort of. I mean, we can always reroute it to, Arcane Divergence if we need to as a mission expense. So.
I mean, if it were like an official mission and not just something that like your Obi-Wan-esque mentor told you to go do.
Yeah, but we'll work it out. Just kidding.
Is it Obi-Wan or would it be Yoda at this point?
I don't know. She hasn't had any screen time, so I still have yet to figure out what she sounds like.
Well, if she doesn't show up at some point, May is going to go find her. So, May has a lot of people she wants to track down at this point. Okay. Thanks, Crota. I think we'll come back sometime early afternoon. How long does it take to get to the other side?
The gondola runs every hour on the half hour. So if I were you, I'd catch the 3:30 gondola. That'll give you plenty of time.
Okay. In her head, she's thinking we're catching the 2:30 gondola. We'll be back around 1-ish. Is that okay?
Yeah, that should do. You guys got other plans for the day?
Actually, question. The note I got from Jack, did it say what time that we have to go?
It just had stopped by any time today.
Okay. Actually, guys, I did receive a letter from our friend Jack from Arcane Focus. He wants us to go and see him today.
Jack wants us to go see him.
Yeah. Is that not okay?
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's great. Yeah, no, I would like to meet Jack.
Oh, great. I'm sure you'll love him.
As long as we have time to help Letty restock. She asked if we could help her with that.
Oh.
Well, of course.
Should we grab some breakfast then? And which first, a meeting or restocking? We should have time for both before we need to leave.
Probably.
Oh, why not go to the meeting first, and then when we come back, we help with restocking.
Okay.
Seems like a plan.
Sounds good.
Ichasi was always good with planning stuff.
She is sort of the most logical thinker of the group, isn't she?
That's depressing.
I mean, when you did without all the pesky emotions and other stuff going on for Ikarin and May, they might at least give her a run for her money, but not now. Okay. So while we're eating breakfast, do you guys mind if I teach you guys a few just some table manners to be just kind of like the way they will expect us to use silverware and different things when we go to visit the Viscount?
Table manners.
I suppose.
Like using the right forks and spoons and that kind of thing.
There are wrong forks and spoons?
You can see on Akasi's face there is a lot of sneering because at the mention of forks and spoons.
I know this isn't really probably your thing, Ichasi. It's but we're learning, right? And that's what we're supposed to be doing while we're here is learning, right? We may also do a little bit of some like stealth and sneaking training later. So just like mission preparation kind of stuff later tonight, maybe if you guys are up for it, you know, just to make sure things go smoothly in the future.
I thought things went smoothly that night, but if you think we need more training.
I mean, it should just maybe so that we can try and avoid quite so much attention from the crew of the Black Flag or the, you know,
The who?
other people. The crew of the what are they called again?
The crew of the Black Flag, or more colloquially, the Black Flag, are essentially like the city guard or police force. So Freeport was originally a pirate town, and that over time became more respectable. And the Black Flag was one of the most powerful pirate ships that operated out of the area. That when the city became like a city instead of a den of smugglers and thieves, they took on the job of keeping the peace. So they like the jail for the city of Freeport is a giant ship that's like dry docked. And they're called the Black Flag or the crew of the Black Flag. And that Black Flag, the eponymous one, is hung high on the mast of the ship, and it's visible from almost anywhere in Freeport.
We want to avoid some eyes. You know, we want to try and we don't want too many people looking for us, especially Ichasi after what happened on the train twice.
I suppose.
But it's not. I mean, we did well. Everyone did great. We didn't lose anybody in our. We lost some people, but none of the people in our group. So that's good. Yeah, it was a successful mission. But in the future, we just want to work on some ways to maybe make it a little bit. R.I.P. Just to make them a little bit maybe more subtle and yeah. Does that make sense?
It does.
Sure.
Okay.
Cry.
Yeah, perfect.
We'll
Okay,
pipe up. If you guys want a place to do some training or something, you could always use the basement.
Oh, where we had the party a couple days ago.
Oh, yeah. There'll be, you guys are welcome to come to the next one. I'll be in a couple of days.
Oh, thank you. That was fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I've never been to a party like that before.
Oh, yeah. Polly puts on a great show, doesn't she?
Yeah. The music was quite engaging.
I know.
This isn't the same thing from last night, yeah? They're talking about?
No. It was a rave.
No.
Yeah, they went to a rave.
There was no hiding it. It's a rave.
That would be wonderful, Kata, if that's okay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we don't really use it for much of anything other than, when we host the rave, so.
Okay. Well, let's go down to breakfast and learn a little bit about Kata, who runs the tavern part again?
So the tavern is run by Colby and Toby, who are two Ganassi. Toby, the fire Ganassi, runs the kitchens, and Colby, the lightning Ganassi, is like the waitress / bartender. Although other members of the Emporium will help out like during dinner service when there's a rush, after their shops are closed down. But like for breakfast, there's not a ton of people there, so it'll be just them. They are They don't have like the real different forks and spoons, but they're happy to bring you like some extra sets of silverware.
Okay. So they're gonna go downstairs, and May's gonna talk to Kobe and ask for some an assortment of silverware, if that's not too much trouble.
Yeah, they bought their spoons and forks and everything from the same place, so every fork in the place matches, and every spoon in the place matches, and every knife in the place matches. But they'll give you like a few dozen forks and spoons to use, so you could just like set them where they'd be, but they'll all be the same fork.
It'd be fun. Okay, so as May goes down and takes like all the silverware, she's gonna find an empty table and set out, the whole like inside to outside, the forks, the folded.
So,
she's gonna like take a napkin.
I want you to make a check to see how accurate
no.
you set it up for teaching them. And you can tell me if you have any skills that will apply. But this is some sort of intelligence check.
Oh, good lord! It's like cooking. It's like culinary all over again.
Let's see. I'm trying to think what check would. I mean,
I'd give you history. Easy.
Oh, and we could do history. Do performance? Investigation doesn't really fit.
I'll give you history.
Okay, yeah, history. That's a 19.
Hey.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. You remember that there's 3 forks and 3 spoons, and then there's that other spoon that goes up on top, and 2 different knives. Okay, that's right. And the forks go on the left, and yep. You remember how this is set up. Yeah, you got this. Okay.
She's very confident that she's got this. Yeah, so she's gonna set up 3 place settings with all of the silverware, and if I guess.
So
yeah,
I will share with you the general rule, because really this is a lot easier than people make it, and I think May knows the general rule too. You go from the outside in. Like, whatever they set up for you, you use the outside and work your way in. So it's easy enough to teach them that rule.
So whatever meal they bring first, you start with the outside silverware and you move in. Now it's going to be different sizes, different styles. It's not going to be like this where it all looks the same. But yeah, so you'll just start at the outside and just slowly move in throughout the courses of the meal, depending on how many courses and what they are serving. Does that make sense? You guys do know how to use forks. Do you guys know how to use? She's gonna take a minute and kind of. Do you guys know how to use knives and forks and spoons?
Oh, well, yes. I didn't realize there were different kinds, but I know the basics.
Okay. Ichasi?
Father did show me, just so I didn't disgust any of the squishies, but. Okay.
I would just request that you guys use those at the tea. If is that you guys good with that?
Yes.
Sure.
I know this is gonna be a little outside your comfort zone. Honestly, it's a little outside of my comfort zone. But outside in, this spoon is for like. I wish we had the different silverware. You're just gonna have to use your imagination. Usually these ones are smaller, these ones are larger, but just general rule, outside in. That's most of what you need to know.
Okay.
Okay. And you'll take the napkin and you'll take it and you'll put it on your lap when you sit down to eat.
Verreth kind of grabs his napkin, puts on. Like, will I be getting a larger napkin, or this doesn't really cover my lap?
Probably not. But if you're worried about it, you could do what you said and shrink yourself. And then it'll all fit.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah. Okay, any questions?
Not that I can think of right now. I feel like there's going to be a lot of things that we may or may not cover.
If you have any questions, just what does it a Karin does? Just flip me a little like a just kind of flick your finger a little bit, and I will connect to you mentally again, and you can ask me. And you can also watch me, or I'm sure the Viscount and anyone who's there for kind of cues. I mean, try to keep your mouth closed as you eat. Try not to slurp anything. Pace yourself. I mean,
This is all very not lizard folky.
This is really not. So she is just like these
lizard folk,
squishies
it's a
are-
slurp and a
exactly. Like, how is she supposed to keep her mouth closed when she eats? She doesn't even have lips.
This big. You got an alligator.
May's gonna kind of look over at Ichasi and be like, "Just do your best. That's it. But I mean, it's gonna be tricky. I know. This is, I was not expecting this in Freeport, but I think we'll do great. It'll be great. You guys got this. Again, a little signal, and I'll connect to you mentally. You can ask me any questions as we go. I mean, if you really wanted, we could try and find a place where we could eat a fancier meal to practice, but I don't know that it's worth it.
Likely not. I don't think we should spend much more time with people who act like this than necessary.
Like this meaning what?
Ones who expect far more than we already know.
One thing that's very important is to be very careful about what you say and who you say it to. These people have a lot of power and influence, and not just here in Freeport. So try to keep any information, especially any information from meetings, private meetings, very under wraps. Keep your story, if people ask who you are and where you're from, very simple. Don't give any more details than anyone needs to know. And if you find yourself getting pressed for information you're not sure you should give, either redirect them or give a half answer, and then kind of slowly change the subject. And people usually won't think twice about it.
A half answer. Should we stop talking in the middle of the answer, or
no? Like there's truth to what you're saying, but you're only giving the information you want, and then you fill it in with other stuff. And you can make that stuff up, or you can just slowly change the subject. Does that make any sense? Oh, that's good.
So kind of like
This is a lot of
the truth and nothing but the truth, but not the whole truth.
Are you attempting to train your party members in the deception skill right now?
maybe, but May's also realizing that this was like a whole unit back at the conservatory, and when she was training with our Arcane Divergence, so
this wasn't a unit.
She realizes there's only
this was a major, and it wasn't your major.
It wasn't my major?
No. You took a couple classes. Like, you took the prereqs, but like...
I mean, I'm proficient in deception. It's a +7.
You know, like this is the social sciences, and you're like a hard scientist. So you took you took your gen eds, but this is not what you studied.
This is like literally me in IRL. Hard sciences with, some social sciences thrown in. We had to get, that stuff.
That's why I used it as a metaphor, because I knew you'd understand.
So, okay. Yeah, so I didn't really teach deception much. It was just kind of a thing that I knew. Yeah, I mean, any questions? Do you want to practice?
Practice with the eating or with the lying?
Either.
Practice lying. Go ahead.
Verreth, tell me where you're from without telling me where you're from. I'm going to ask you where you're from. Answer the question, but don't fully answer the question. Verreth, where are you from?
I am from a wooded area. How could I say that without? Well, I'm from the Northlands, but how could I say that without saying I'm from the Northlands?
You could say that you're from a small town and you traveled a long way to be here.
But it wasn't really a town. It was just more like a community of other Firbolgs.
I'm from a small community, and I had to travel quite a ways to be here. And I'm excited to be here in Freeport today. I'm really excited to meet some new people and make friends, and see, and then you just start right off another conversation. And if you can then ask them a question, they won't even know.
Huh.
They'll forget. Most people will just forget that you never actually answered the question.
I suppose that's not technically lying.
It's not technically lying.
Okay, I think I can do this.
You can make a wisdom check real quick, Verreth.
Wisdom?
Yeah.
Like a wisdom saving throw, or just like a...
Just a check.
Wisdom. Just a check. Okay. 15, not bad.
You think Jack's done that to you once or twice? You like vaguely remember, like, oh yeah, sometimes he like doesn't really answer, and then he'll ask me a question. I forget that he didn't really answer.
Huh. Interesting. I may have a bit more. Maybe I may be a bit more acquainted with this concept than I thought I was.
And now that you're aware of it, you'll find it's used much more often than you're probably comfortable with. I'm sorry, but it's a very useful skill to have.
Good to know.
Ichasi, where are you from?
I'm from a land to the south.
Okay, give me one more like vague detail before trying to go on to the next subject.
I am from Well, it is people would call it a very nice place if they liked such an environment.
You're from a very lovely place to the south, and you traveled here to town on vacation to try and see something new. And what's their favorite part of Freeport? What place in Freeport should you go visit while you're here on vacation? You see how now they're thinking about their favorite places and that instead of thinking about the fact that they actually don't know exactly where you're from?
I suppose.
This is brilliant. Now, what happens if we come up with someone who is actually very acquainted with this and decides to circle back to the original question?
That's a 200 level course.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get a little bit more practice on the actual lying part because at some point you will have to actually possibly make up a story on the fly about where you're from. But that sometimes requires an accent and some other things, and we're gonna need some practice to get you guys where you need to be on that. But if you start to get uncomfortable, again, you can give me a signal and I can try and step into the conversation and divert a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, if you really get pressed, you can always say that you'd rather not say. That's a last resort, though. It's a last resort.
I suppose that.
But if it's in polite company, they should let that go. Although you may also cue their senses into wondering what else is going on. So maybe don't do that. Actually, like.
Mom? Hey, Mom?
Oh, yes?
Did you want me to tell you when there were more, rats around?
Oh, yes. More of the rats like you?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I messed up then.
I'm sorry. Are there some around?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Where are they?
Like, in the walls and stuff.
How many?
Uh, 1, 2, 3, many, lots, bunch, ton.
Do they have the glowing purple?
So you remember that you did it before. You can kind of reach through him to try and
Oh,
get a
that's
sense
right.
yourself with an Arcana check.
Oh, that's right. Okay, let's do that. That's a 14.
So on a 14.
15. Sorry, that's a 15.
Oh, 15.
I can math.
Okay. On a 15, then, big difference.
I know. Big difference.
So you reach out and you feel them, and there's a bunch. There's dozens. But they you feel them. You notice that, because when you feel them, they scatter. So you also notice that they must have, like, new orders to when you notice them run away.
Well, that's not ideal. Thank you for letting me know. Next time, just let me know anytime, they're around.
Okay.
If that's not too much trouble.
Well, it's like, maybe it'd be easier if I told you when they're not.
Okay. Yeah, yes, actually that could be very useful. I will assume they're there and we'll try to scare them off. But if they're not there, let me know, because that could actually be very important information.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And she's like give him a little, I don't know what snack she has, cracker or
Little
whatever.
pets.
Yeah. You're very good at this, I think we could make a great team.
Yeah. I'm pretty dope.
Especially with your little shadow blade. That was cool.
He's so humble.
Yes, I play humble characters. That's me.
Okay. Any more questions, or shall we go to this meeting?
I suppose we should go.
Yes, let's.
I'm assuming at this point everyone's like eating breakfast. Oh, unless you guys want to, role play out practicing with the utensils eating breakfast today.
What's the practice? Cut things with knife, pick things up with fork. It's very straightforward.
It goes about as well as a lizard folk holding a fork or a spoon.
Oh, she might actually need practice.
Also,
do you want to practice Ichasi?
if you recall, the specialty of this place is tacos.
We're trying to cut tacos with a knife.
Have you ever tried that before? Yeah, it does not go well.
This isn't working.
Maybe next time we should try enchiladas.
I gotta actually go for an enchilada right now.
It's fine, guys. We'll
Oh,
continue
no kidding.
working on it.
I need to go harass my favorite Mexican place.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh, I'm craving Mexican. Anyway, it's okay. We'll have time to practice. I don't expect this will be a common occurrence. So, yeah, let's go to this meeting, Verreth.
Excellent. And I believe it's on the first terrace. Is that right? What the note said?
Mm-hmm.
The first day.
Yeah,
So the Emporium is built onto the side of the second terrace and the back docks. I will bring up our map again real quick. Whoa. Sorry for anyone who has vertigo. But this right here is the Emporium. You can see it's got here on the built into the second terrace and the back docks here. So you can go out the door there and just up and around, find Jack's office somewhere in and around there. It is, I imagine it to look a little bit like Sherlock Holmes's place on Baker Street. It's kind of this town home. And yeah, it's easy enough to find. It's actually smaller than many of the other buildings around it. Kind of doesn't fit in, but has a quaint charm. And when you knock on the door, it's opened by a doorman in like a full suit. He's very bald. He looks like his name is Jeeves. And he sees the three of you and he just says, "Oh, yes, my master has been expecting you. Up the stairs, first door on your right."
Thank you. Yeah.
Can maybe make a perception check just to look around the house at what it
For
looks
sure.
like on the inside? Okay. That's an 11.
Okay. So right now you're in like the foyer. Or it's probably a foyer because it's a little nice.
Oh, yeah.
See?
Lots of hardwood. The stairs that he's mentioning are like right in front of you. And there's a hallway that goes to the back of the house. So there's not too, I mean, it's a nice entryway, but you're just in the entryway right now. So there's not too much you can glean.
Okay.
But if you go up the stairs and you open that door at the end of the hallway like he told you and you enter the office, Jack's office is a little bit more interesting. So it is dominated by a big hardwood, like a rich mahogany desk. And there's bookshelves all around the outside of the room. And there are piles and piles and piles of documents in folders everywhere. Like just piles on the floor, piles on the desk. It looks to be in complete and total disarray.
This is like May's paradise. Like, there's so much information in this room. There are books, there's papers,
And Jack is sitting behind the desk. And he has his feet up on his desk. And he's playing a guitar. When he sees you guys come in. And he sees you, he goes, "Oh, hey. Hi, guys. Oh, weren't there more of you? Ah, no worries." And he puts the guitar down and he sits up and he says, "So, what can I do for you?"
We got this letter that you wanted to see us.
"Oh, yeah. I did write that, didn't I?"
Did you not?
"Yeah, probably. Come on in. Take a seat. Take a seat." And you see there's one chair in front of his desk. And he makes a gesture, and then there's 3 chairs.
Okay. So, what did you need to see us about today?
Oh, needs a strong word. I don't really need much. Want. Now that is a question. How have your studies been going, Verreth?
Oh, they went very well. I feel like I learned a lot from them.
Went. That's past tense. You're done learning then.
Well, life is a learning experience, but I'm done with my classes, so to speak.
See. Can you two see why I took an interest in him? Life is a learning experience. Seriously, from the mouths of children, just mwah. I love it. So, what did you learn last night?
So, I learned about a few different things last night. One of the things was something about the Knights of Justice, that we have lost them.
You know, I think they were going to be a big player in the story. Certainly seemed like it for a while, but they've been placed on the back burner for a while. I wouldn't worry about them. Now, if I were the Silver Veil, I might worry a little bit, but she's not here. Any clue where she is?
The Silver Veil?
I guess not then.
Who's the Silver Veil?
Out of character, I don't know if May knows that. I know.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
That's a conversation that one blonde nerd might have to have with Persephone and Dora to figure out. I don't know that May knows that about Emerity.
I don't. That I was asking in character her Jack, see if Jack would tell her what the Silver Veil was.
Jack looks at you and he winks.
So, do we know who the Silver Veil are? Like, any of us, or Does that name just mean nothing to us?
You could make a check. I don't think it's something Verreth would necessarily know about, but you could make like I think a history check.
Oh, we all know how good Verreth is at history checks.
Exactly, right?
Do you mind if May rolls a history check as well and see if she's heard of
Oh!
this? I mean, she just went on this mission,
Uh,
but I don't know how much time she spent in Keldoris.
How'd you do on that? I didn't see it show up yet.
Oh, it didn't show up?
Not from
That's here. He rolled an 18.
Oh,
Yeah.
18. Boom. It just took a second to load on my side. 18. Verreth, you know because you've seen the wanted poster. She's a criminal from Queldoris.
Oh.
She's got like a big bounty on her head. And it's weird that Jack is saying she because it's not known too much about them. Like, he seems confident it's a woman, but that's not known for sure.
Interesting. So I'm gonna hold on to that information. I'm not gonna like bring that out right now, but Jack knows something, and I'm picking up on that. So yeah, I don't think any of us really know where the Silver Veil is. No.
Yeah. So besides the Knights of Light, what else did you glean?
What else would Verreth have taken away from that? Well, I made some new friends.
Most certainly.
I'm not sure exactly what else. I'm having a hard time remembering, actually, what was went over.
That's totally okay. Yeah. I know you're feeling a bit pressed. It's because Jack's pressing Verreth a little bit. Please don't feel like Quinn is pressing Sweet. Jack's just pressing Verreth.
I mean, Jack, you were there. You got all the same information I did.
Oh, but I was asked to leave. Nothing interesting happened after I left?
I'm gonna try deception. Be like, no, nothing of interest really.
Go ahead and roll the deception.
Oh, please let it be a nat 20. I'll love it.
Maybe like, well,
He nods, much like I am doing right now. On a 17 deception. He'll turn and he'll look at Ichasi and May real quickly, and he'll say, "You two, both very special. Ichasi, I think you could maybe someday be as good a healer as Verreth if you wished."
I would hope so.
You know, he did study with some druids who are practitioners of the old ways like yourself. I think you and he might have a lot to teach each other.
Garrett is gonna get a little bit of an excited look on his face, like, Ichasi, you want to be a healer?
It is expected of all druids of our tribe to become healers.
Although, Verreth, I will remind you that part of a healer's job is to protect those in his care from further harm. Don't neglect your martial studies.
Of course. I understand that right well.
so as they're having this whole conversation about healing and all that stuff, May's gonna kind of get like look a little bit sad and like kind of look around the office like
All the books and no time to read them.
And what
I know
about
the
you,
feeling.
May? Any wish to join the practitioners of the healing arts?
I've tried to learn healing magic. It doesn't seem to be my forte.
Well, maybe you haven't had the right teacher. You know, sometimes not all students learn the same.
I mean, my teacher's quite good at all kinds of magic.
She's okay at some of them.
She's gonna message. You know Ileana?
And he says out loud, "Of course I know Ileana. We go way back."
How far back?
600 and some odd years.
A long time.
And you guys all also know that the Gods War, like that big cataclysmic thing, was 537 years ago. So he's saying he's known this person since before that. He also appears as a half-elf, and they don't live that long.
It's a very long time.
Yeah, you know.
He's sitting here like. Does May know anything about what happened during that war? Has Ileana said anything?
So most of like the history of that time period has kind of been lost on this continent. But the elves of the Northlands remember more because like some elves were alive through it. Because of how you were raised and where you were raised, there's stuff you would know and stuff you wouldn't know. You could definitely make like a knowledge check about a guy named Jack who wears a rope tie that looks kind of like a noose. You could make a check on that.
Okay, let's make it just general.
I'm gonna guess that's bad.
That's a straight intelligence. That's a 9.
9.
Jack's a name for a man.
It's a very nice name.
There are a couple of stories about a couple of Jacks, probably. I mean, there's no way that they were all the same Jack. That person would have to be some sort of like, I don't know, god amongst men or something.
How have you known Ileana for 600 years? You're a half elf, right?
Well, I certainly appear to be a half elf. But then again, so do you.
Ichasi is just sitting there confused. Like, why are they talking in so weird a way?
I am a half elf.
I was.
Was?
And what are you now? As her brain flies through like all these other things she's learned in the last day.
He leans forward. And he looks you dead in the eyes. And he asks you, do you really want to know? And I want you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh gosh,
All
this is going to go really well.
Just her.
I can tell.
Okay.
That is
She's the one who asked him what he really is.
I mean, it's a 15.
You don't want to know. When he asks you like that, you don't want to know.
Gosh, I'm just so
May,
curious
he always
now.
wants to know.
Is Verreth going to ask?
Okay.
I'm a little curious, but now I'm scared.
Oh, he looks at Verreth and he winks and he goes, don't worry, buddy.
Well, the thing is, I lived not amongst elves, but fairly close to them, so I understand the lifespan of a half-elf shouldn't be that long, and now I'm worried.
Oh, I do look very good for my age, don't I?
Well, now, are you lying? Because I feel like you wouldn't be alive that long.
I never say a word that is not true.
He's pulling some freaking little sibling crap.
A quick peek behind the veil for everyone watching at home who is not understanding why we're laughing so hard. Jack is God, and he's the god of loopholes. That's his title. So that's why he talks the way he does.
May's gonna keep looking at him and message him again and just say, the memory thing with Danny, how...
He messages you back, and he says, any memories you have of Danny are your own. If you remember seeing him the other night, he must have been there.
But how could he be there? He's dead.
He will respond, I'm not allowed to answer that question, but you know someone who knows the answer.
Who?
He smiles and he says out loud, now that would be telling.
I hate when people talk like this. Liana, all over again.
Well, she learned from the best.
She's just gonna watch Jack very intently. Why did you and Verreth come to the Arcane Focus meeting?
I don't
We
know
were
why
invited.
Verreth went. I went because Malgren invited me.
Yeah, we were invited. So why not? We were told that we could help the Arcane Focus's cause.
I have many friends in the city of Freeport. Across the world, I can be a valuable person to know.
You talked about learning healing magic. How...
Can you carry a tune?
well enough?
I don't know. There's a book. Third shelf. Left side. Second bookcase. Red cover.
He's gonna
It's
walk over
on
and grab it.
loan
Oh.
from the library. I would get in very big trouble if a book full of what it's full of were to go missing while it's in my care. If you would all excuse me for a minute, I have to check something in the other room. And he gets up and he leaves.
Yeah, Maze goes right over to the bookcase and grabs the book and pulls it out. And she glances at the cover before sticking it in her bag.
Wait, are you stealing from him?
It's okay. It's fine. Trust me. She's gonna give Verreth a wink.
What?
So
Can't you just read the book here?
The title of the book is Spells, Swords, and Sorcery. Basic Bardistry for Beginners by Jack. And if you open it to the first page, there's a list that people have checked out this book before. Like a library card. And you see that whoever had it before Jack was just listed as the conservatory.
Interesting.
I don't know if it's the same one as that place you grew up, but
Of course.
Very interesting. And she's just gonna flip finger through it really quick and then stick it in her bag.
and Jack comes back as you stick it in your bag, that moment. He says, "Well, any other questions for me? I would be delighted to share any of my knowledge or expertise."
I guess I'm just a little curious. You you went through the trouble of sending me a note saying we needed to talk, but I kind of felt like we came here and just shot the breeze. Was there really no goal to this meeting here?
Verreth, I need you to keep these ladies alive. The other two as well. For as long as you can. For as much danger as that will put all of you in. That's your job.
And Verreth kind of notices how Jack suddenly has become very serious from saying that, and he understands that this is like a mission he's giving him. He's like, I understand.
Good. I mean, I had invited you here to make sure of that, but seeing your countenance and your attachment to your fellows already, I didn't think it bore repeating.
Understandable.
Jack, what do you know of the Vinhall family?
The Vindals? King Vindal is the king of the elves. She's been reigning for 200 years, give or take. Fairly young for an elven monarch, but well beloved. Her daughter went missing some 30-odd years ago. It's not well known, but Helena Vindal was engaged to be married to Duke Arenshield of Reef. She disappeared on the day of annexation. Rumor has it she had some other beau, and they eloped. Stories abound of children who were taken from their parents and raised in secret. Secret heirs to the kingdom of the Northlands. Of course, that's all just story and hearsay. A king without heirs is bound to cause rumor.
What do you think of the rumors? Do you think there's any truth to them?
I think you know whether or not they're true. I'm not sure you want to admit it to yourself yet. Princess.
What?
Oh, you'll learn more this afternoon, I'm sure.
What do you know of this Viscount Gentiri von Gosh, von Holtzgrave. I can read my own handwriting.
Gentiri? Never met him.
But you know more about him, don't you?
I know a lot about a lot. I would not let you walk into a trap. Probably. Well, it depends on the trap. And I guess you could... You know what? Scratch that. I'm sure you'll be fine.
At least I don't think you would lead Verreth into a trap, so maybe. She watches him really closely. Can she make an insight check?
He gives you that shrug when you say you wouldn't let Verreth into a trap. Like, like the more he thought about it, he's like, no, there's certain traps that like have to be sprung to deal with them, and like, yeah.
In message again, she's gonna say, and what do you know about the Mind Flayer and the Ebrezia problem?
He responds back with a message. And this is his first time messaging you. And his voice in the message is bigger and grander. It booms and echoes. And he says, "Not as much as I'd like."
I don't like that answer very much.
Neither does he.
Okay. She's gonna kind of laugh for a minute as she thinks back to everything. You know who all of us are, don't you?
Yes.
When was the last time you spoke with Ileana?
This morning.
This morning?
Mm-hmm.
Is she in Freeport?
No.
Do you know where she is?
Yes.
Welcome
Where
to
is
22
she?
questions. D&D
Maze just taught like the deception and the what non-answers to these other guys.
Oh yeah. Do you know where she is? Yes.
Oh, I think he's doing the thing that you taught us earlier.
Upon
Yes.
hearing that, Ichasi
Yes,
starts
he
to
did.
study.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where
he's
is
good.
she, Jack?
Sorry, I missed it.
Oh, sorry. Where is she, Jack?
You'll see her again.
That's not what I asked, Jack.
No, but it's my answer.
Well, thank you for your time, Jack. Anything we should know before we go to this meeting with the Viscount?
Anything you should know. There's a lot you should know. You can tie your shoes, right?
So I can tie my shoes, Jack.
Just checking.
May just kind of rolls her eyes a little bit. I mean, any relevant information we should probably already know going in, but maybe we don't.
Oh, to your meeting with the Viscount.
Yes.
You should be fine.
Okay.
Oh, nah, he probably, it shouldn't. If he asks you to marry him, you probably shouldn't. But I don't think he will.
Marry him?
Well,
Why would he ask me to marry him? I've never met him.
it's politics.
Did he say the princess thing out loud, or did he say that
Out loud. The other two heard it.
Jack, do you know where my mother is?
I wish I didn't.
Where is she?
She's with your father.
She doesn't want to be with my father, does she?
Your mother believes that she can do the most good where she is. And the worst thing is she's probably not wrong.
Is she still hurt?
A woman who has never known two of her children, is she still hurt?
Is her mind her own?
Her mind has always been her own.
And with that, May's just gonna sigh and she's gonna turn and she's just gonna walk out the door.
For what it's worth, she loves you very much.
May's gonna walk faster. She's gonna try and kind of leave the others behind.
So, like,
Yes,
I
please
guess...
try to outrun a lizard folk and a furbog, who is twice your height.
They can run you down.
So, I guess this means we're leaving.
She is trying to get away at this point. And she's
Okay.
gonna take a cut down a back alley and see if she can. I don't know if she can.
Are you guys going to like run after her and try and find her? Or
Yeah.
let her get her
So,
space?
thank you for having us, Jack. It was very nice to see you. We should... Sorry, go ahead.
If you take 3rd Street, you might be able to cut her off.
3rd Street. Got it. Thank you.
Verreth, can you read? I don't know where 3rd Street is.
I can read. You can't read.
No, why would I?
I don't know. Just figured read. We'll talk about this later. We should go find May.
She only asked because I'm pretty sure there are signs saying 3rd Street, and she doesn't know words.
So I'm gonna leave this up to you guys. Blondie, if you don't want them to find you and you want to take a second, you can take a second. I mean, if you want to talk this out with Triple T, he's happy to have another chat.
I think for this breakdown, it would be more interesting story-wise if they did cut her off.
Okay, yeah. So following Jack's advice, you take 3rd Street and you see her pop out of an alley and she nearly runs into you. In fact, I think she does. She runs into Verreth and you catch her as she's like falling.
Bounces off. I've seen that happen during Game of Capture the Flag. I've also done that during Game of Capture the Flag. It's not fun.
I'm gonna try and grab her before she falls to the ground.
Oh, you definitely can. Yeah.
Are you okay?
How did you know where I'd be?
Oh, lucky guess. It's not important.
And she kind of like takes a step back, like into the alleyway, and like just leans against the building wall.
That conversation upset you.
I haven't talked to you guys as much as the others, and I've known Nikolai for a few years now. I've never met my parents. I've never met most of my family. I grew up in Abrexia, where I was born with magic, and magic is not allowed. So, for our safety, I think my 2 siblings and I were taken from our parents and hidden away. And the only person I ever had a connection to them was my mentor. And I was raised in a underground orphanage school of sorts for kids who have magical abilities. And we were trained from a very young age to help other magic users. And I have worked on that ever since. And have not been able to find my family, and more recently have started looking, and part of me wishes I hadn't. And at that, she's just going to kind of put her head down and try to like kind of cover her face.
I don't think I have any drinks on me. Dang it! I was gonna give her something, but I don't have any drinks on me. I think I left it at the party. I can give you some water. I have a water skin.
She's gonna look over. I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, no, in times like this, having some alcohol would help, but maybe you'll settle for this.
I don't really drink because I have always needed to have my wits about me. That's what happens when you grow up in a country where magic is outlawed. You're hunted. I know it's odd, but my mother being with my father, and then her voice is just going to crack, and she's just going to lean against the wall again and just slide down to the ground and like put her head in her hands and just.
Oh my God, your parents are together.
No.
Only one Christmas, God.
Do you have something you could say that could help her out?
My father always told me that on journeys of self-discovery, it hurts a lot more than it seems to heal. But you come back more whole than when you left.
She's not really going to respond. She's just going to kind of nod a little bit, her head still down. And I think after a minute, the last couple days are going to catch up to her, and she's not going to say anything else. She's just going to do that whole like our head in her arms and stuff, and she's going to try and keep it quiet, but she is sobbing at this point.
At this point, Ichasi's just going to sit next to her.
It's actually surprisingly common for people to have mental breakdowns in alleys in this part of town. It's the very high stress, like white collar sector of the city. Yeah, there's someone in the alleyway next to you who, like, you think got fired, who's having a similar breakdown. You're not attracting undue attention.
That's one way to say it.
One alley, there's one in every alley, sir. Two in mine, actually.
Oh, yeah. There's someone else in the back of your alley. And it's two of them, actually. And it is two young men, and they're having an argument because one of them cheated on the other. And you could tell that the guy who got cheated on is just heartbroken. How could you possibly, yeah. This is like Heartbreak Lane.
That's really the name of the alley. It's Heartbreak Lane.
Yeah. 3rd Street connects with Heartbreak Lane.
Yeah. So I think May's just gonna stay there for a while with Ichasi next to her.
Do you want to head back to the room so you could kind of decompress before heading out to high tea?
May's gonna kind of put her head up and just kind of like wipe away everything and.
We did promise to help restock.
Yeah, we did. And she's gonna get up and she's just gonna kind of like, try and Make yourself look more presentable. I'm sorry, guys. I usually have it more together than this. And I apologize. We have lots to do.
I understand that whatever history you've gone through with the rest of the world may have forced you to be strong, but you don't have to be that way around us.
She laughs a little bit. There's one thing I learned: the moment you let your guard down. And she's just gonna walk past them and keep walking down the street.
Ichasi's gonna just follow her.
Yeah.
I will follow Cassie.
So when you get back to the Emporium, the entrance on this level has Krata's shop. It has the apothecary where Spring works, and it has Letty's shop. You can see that Letty's shop has its sign turned to closed, but you can see she's inside, and she has tons of boxes that she's rooting through and everything. I was going to have you guys have like a whole scene with Letty as you unpack, but we're getting to about 40 minutes left on our time slot here. So we can kind of we can have that scene and have you guys with Letty and do whatever you want to do there, or we can kind of say you help her unpack and then kind of go on to the high tea scene. It's up to you guys. Just we're kind of running a little bit lower on time. Which one do you want more like twists and reversals and that sort of stuff, or do you want a little bit more of a fun, lighthearted, let's mess around with Letty?
I think we've had enough heavy for one session.
Okay. So we can save high tea for next week then.
Yeah,
I have to admit, I'm dying of curiosity on the high tea, but
let's save a little bit of emotional trauma for next week.
Okay.
Yeah, let's save that.
Oh, remember, you guys still have to like share everything you know with your other two party members who have their own like big, deep, dark secrets to reveal.
Oh yeah, that's true. Next week is going to be plenty of drama and dark and emotional for sure. So either I'm good either way, guys. I don't think May's in the gonna be very lighthearted no matter what. So
yeah, May could use a little bit of lighthearted right now.
For sure. We all could.
Just a little.
So if you you did promise to help her, so if you do try the door on the shop, it is unlocked. She's been expecting you guys, and the little bell above the door goes cling. And she looks up. Oh, hey everyone! You guys here to help? I could really use it. Look how many boxes I got to unsort.
We did say we would help.
We got a shipment in from the Western Isles. Oh, and that train that got delayed on the way here. Those goods finally came in too. So, Ichasi, you're familiar with like lizard folk stuff, right? We've got some talismans and items from the tribe. Do you want to help me sort through those? I'm just not as familiar with your sort of magic.
Of course.
Yeah, so it's that box over there in the corner. Now, big guy. Wow.
Yes.
Are you as strong as you look?
I should say I am.
Okay. I got in a set of 700-pound boots, and I just can't move. They're still sitting down on the first floor by the blacksmith. If you go down and talk to Max, he'll be able to point you to him. Let's see if you can get him up here.
700 pounds, my gosh. Who could even walk in boots like that?
There's some sort of special training item or something. I don't know. That's what happens when you put Krata in charge of our ordering for the month. They were a great deal. Yeah, but they're going to sit like under my shelves for years. Ugh. I've never known someone with such great business sense who's also such an idiot. You know what I mean? He's lucky he's cute. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Luckily for you, I should be able to move 700 pounds, or at least drag it.
Okay. Try not to ruin the stairs.
I love how she's more worried about the stairs than the boots.
I'm imagining one of those like weight limit signs that they have on like bridges and overpasses where it's like no more than on the stairs.
Fortunately for you, the stairs weight limit is 800 pounds. Good luck, Verreth.
Or something.
So you can't be on the same stair as the boots.
That's not going to work. All right, so Verreth goes off to find these apparently super heavy boots.
Yeah, so on the first floor, actually no one in the party has met the blacksmith yet. But he's a minotaur. Big old minotaur. His name is Max. Wearing the blacksmith apron. He's clanging away. And if you ask him, he'll be like, oh yeah, the boots. Yeah, they're heavy. They were over there.
Okay. I will
And a few words.
get to work then.
For sure. And it'll take you a couple of minutes to drag him up the stairs, but you can do it. Like, clearly. And she's very happy when you have. She's like, thank you. Yes. Oh my God. I don't know who I'm going to sell them to. Like, who's going to wear them out of the shop? You know what? Actually, that's a fashion item. It's going in Crada's shop.
So,
Meanwhile, his floor is only cleared for 300 pounds.
let's see, how far is Crada's shop
It's
from
literally
here?
across the hall.
Oh. Oh, okay. What's that too bad?
It's up another 3 floors. You'll be fine.
Yeah, as long as it's not going up any stairs, I should be okay.
No.
Oh no, it's downstairs.
No, it's literally the same floor. But
Okay.
May, I think she's going to put you to work like cataloging on the clipboard. So we've kind of seen the clipboard a little bit, I think. Actually, not last week, so none of our viewers have. But the owners of these stores have enchanted clipboards that allow them to keep inventory as well as keep record of like how much money everyone is owed across the different stores. So she gives you the clipboard to write down the inventory. Do you try and like read their other notes on stuff?
Of course. she may be having a really bad couple of days, but she's still her.
Okay. So you can definitely take a look at like who owes them money if you want. You can take a look at like what they have in stock if you want. Although they just tell you what they have in stock. But I think the most interesting thing is Mogren owes them thousands of gold. Like a very not insignificant sum of money. And there's a separate bill for Arcane Focus. They have a separate account for Arcane Focus than Mogren. Like Mogren specifically owes them a ton. Arcane Focus owes them like 5 gold. You guys, for your close with Crada, are down for owing them 200 gold.
Oh.
She's gonna look at that and think that's kind of a lot, but she doesn't know the magic of the clipboard well enough to mess with it. So she's gonna. She can I roll an Arcana check to see how that works?
Yeah.
No, she doesn't.
What was the roll?
I mean, if that's a 10 total.
On a 10, you know for sure that you could cross off that number and write in any number you want. What you don't realize on a 10 is that it will be your handwriting on every clipboard.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, she's not gonna get into that much trouble today. Today.
Right, because you haven't gotten into enough trouble in the past, what, 2?
Right.
There's more coming.
I don't doubt it.
Some self-inflicted, probably.
That he
Okay.
will at some point try and talk to Ichasi a little bit, just sort of as everyone's doing their own things. She will continue to give Verreth jobs of like lifting heavy stuff. She's clearly decided that like, you're big, you do heavy lift.
You pick things up and you put them down.
Which is something that I decided as like a man over 6 foot who worked tech theater for several years, you just get given certain jobs. Right. But she'll also try and catch Ichasi and say, can you tell me a bit of what Krata was like growing up?
Oh, Krata was seen as any other member of the tribe. I do remember Father giving him a little bit more trouble than others. But he would always exceed expectations. At least that's what Father told me.
Krata doesn't talk about home much. You know, he goes back every couple of months and gets stuff. I've been very excited to meet you.
He talks about us here. He does not talk about here at home.
No?
Not really.
So then, you never heard of me?
No.
He doesn't talk about spring or winter or Max.
He doesn't talk to many people at all when he is home. I suppose, as he told me, he tells them what they need to know and leaves it there.
You know, your brother isn't always the best at figuring out what other people need to know and what they don't need to know. Your brother is one of the smartest men I've ever met, but the mistake he always makes is not thinking anyone else is smart too.
He does have that problem once or twice.
You know, they say you always wind up dating your father, but... Huh.
Out of character, I know that way too well.
Oh gosh.
I'm sorry. This is...
You're welcome. Need someone to break emotional moments? Hi, how you doing?
No, I love it. I love it.
Well, you know, usually Persephone does that too, so you know. Gotta...
I had to step in, filling for her.
Yeah.
She will ask. So, I've heard you're a druid. The old ways of magic, right?
Yes.
Do you guys remember the old gods?
We were educated that magic is more nature. It is in trees, in grass, in animals.
Well, you're not wrong.
What we do know of old gods is very, very limited. We know they existed, but we don't know anything more. Or if we do know, we don't say anything about it. They don't say anything about it.
That's for the better. I was worried, but the dead gods should stay dead.
I'm going to roll an insight check on that.
Go for it.
As I'm sure you were expecting.
Yeah. You can also roll a religion check.
I'd rather keep that insight check.
No, yeah, but you can roll a religion check to go along with it too. On a 16, you vaguely remember like rumors that tieflings are related to the dead gods. And in a 23, you have just confirmed that rumor. She is speaking from experience.
While some dead things do not stay dead, perhaps it is best if certain things do.
It's enough talk of the dead. Something more cheery.
What is Crota like here? What is Crota like here?
Oh, Crota? When I met Crota, I was selling love potions out of the back of a cart on the street. And he was walking around with the strangest armor made out of... Well, you know what it's made out of. I don't, to this day. And he had this idea. And now, just a couple of years later, we own this building. Do you know how much I save on rent owning my own shop? Your brother is different, but he gets things done. And I can't always trust that he'll trust me. But I can always trust that once he's decided you're one of his people, you're one of his people, you know? And, well, no, I shouldn't tell you that. You're his sister. Let's just say he's very fun to be around.
I suppose he is pretty fun.
Can't handle his liquor, though.
Yes, there was that one time in the tribe. Every once in a while, the elders allowed the other fighters to drink with them, and most can handle 5. He could handle half of one.
I wish I could get him to stop at 5.
He must have built up a tolerance then. Or perhaps you squishies have weaker immune systems.
You know, it's probably the latter. I would love... you've seen our rave. I would love to see what a lizard folk party is like sometime. And I'd love to meet your dad. I wish I could make your brother feel safe. Spring's probably got a better shot at that than I ever do, but...
He feels safer here than he does at home. If he tells you about our home, more than he tells me about here. This is actually his home.
Thank you.
Of course.
Hey, Verreth, don't drop that. That's heavy.
Are we still talking about the boots, or is it something else now?
Whatever. I'm just breaking tension.
Don't you worry. I've got it. You're not gonna see any damaged goods on my watch, no sir.
Crash.
That was nothing.
Oh.
I stubbed my toe.
Damaged goods? No. Damaged property? Possibly.
Mace is sitting there at the clipboard, like looking over it, like.
All right, we're to like 20 minutes before our normal end time. And we've gotten a lot sort of out there today. Anything else you guys want to cover or ask anyone, check in on?
Let's see, we've
guys want
gotten the
some stuff
emotional
to
trauma,
eat?
we've got the lighthearted wholesomeness, we got all the tension breaking, we've got all the humor. Anybody
The
else?
self-treating might be quite entertaining.
No, I think that about covers all the bases there.
Okay, so I think next week we should have both of our other two people back. And you can all go to high tea next week if you want to.
I do think May's gonna read her book though. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's a textbook. It's like a 101 textbook on how to be a bard.
Oh, please tell me she's going to
Ever heard of a
multi-class in bard.
before?
You've never heard of a bard before. So bards don't exist in this world anymore because of all of the anti-magic sentiment. So all of the bard colleges got shut down because bards go to college.
Yeah.
High school's not good enough.
So they're like, there's maybe a couple of bards in the world, but if there are, it's because like they learned from their father, who learned from their father, who learned from their father. But like the magic of music is not well known or understood. The closest thing you'd ever would have experienced was when you went to the rave, and like the rhythm was literally infectious and everyone was dancing. Is the closest to like bard magic that you've ever experienced or heard of.
Interesting.
Very specifically, you have never seen or heard your mentor Eliana sing or play an instrument.
I think she's gonna wander back downstairs to Letty and say, do you happen to have any musical instruments for sale?
In the shop? I've got a whistle, but it summons air elementals. It's actually really expensive.
Oh. Yeah, that might be a little overkill.
Please make whistle your bard instruments.
I mean, what are you looking for? I bet, you know.
I'm waiting for a bard to come in with a penny whistle.
Professor
Or a
Penny
slide whistle.
Professor Pennywhistle down at the woodworking shop is a master. I'm sure I mean, I don't know what you're looking for, but if you wanted like a flute or maybe like a violin or something, sure she could do something for you. Do you know what can you play anything?
Not really. I can sing a little. Like,
Yeah.
little. Not a lot. It just wasn't part of my education growing up.
Well, is there something in particular you're trying to do? Do you want to like serenade someone or something, or?
She's gonna look at Letty and be like, yeah, something like that.
Well, if I know anything from the performers we have at the rave, you're probably going to want like a string instrument if you're going to accompany yourself, like singing.
Okay. Thanks, Letty. Maybe I'll go downstairs.
I mean, there's music shops in the city too if you want to, and I'm sure someone could like give you lessons if you want.
Okay.
I know this lawyer who plays the guitar, Jack.
All the
Cool.
circles.
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you. Where's the woodworking shop?
Oh, down on the first floor, across from the forge.
Okay. I think she's gonna go down and take a look at the woodworking shop if you guys are okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you can't tell by the name, Professor Pennywhistle is a gnome. All gnomes in my world are professors. And she's gnome size. And she's got this big old woodworking shop, and it's a little different because she is an artificer. So she has power tools. So she has like spinning lathes and like power saws and stuff like that, which is not at all common for this world. So while you come in, she's got a spoke on a lathe, and she's making like a very nice handle for some sort of like pole arm or staff or something that's spinning, and she's got these goggles on. She goes, and her bell goes ding, 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 and she turns over. She says, "I'll be right with you."
Okay, take your time.
She finishes up, and she walks over to you, and you notice that like she has what looks like it might be like a worker's table out in her shop, but she's walking on it like it's her floor. And so as she comes over to you, you notice that her on the table, she's like at eye level with you. So she's built like this second floor in the middle of her workshop for her workspace that also lets her talk to customers like at eye level.
Clever.
And she comes over. She's got on goggles because, eye protection is very important. There's sawdust all over. She plops them up. "What can I do you for?"
Letty said you might have some instruments.
Letty. What does Letty know? What does Letty know about anything? What does Letty know about Letty? Don't answer that.
Letty knows more than I expected.
I don't have any instruments,
Anyway,
but I could probably make one. What are you looking for?
I think she's gonna like inside the bag, like open the textbook and look at the index of like all the different musical instruments, and she's just gonna try to look at like a picture of all of them and see what looks interesting. Do you know anything about violins?
A violin. Hold on. And she walks in the back and she pulls out this binder, and it's got all sorts of like post-it notes in it, and she's flipping through violin, violin. No, that's a cello. Cello, you got a bass. Okay. Anyway, next.
Gosh, you're waiting for that joke.
Let's go. Yeah.
Can you imagine somebody walking around with a bass? This is my bard instrument. It's like rolling.
I can.
Oh yeah, you put it on wheels and you just wheel it around with you.
Do not ask me if I can imagine anything. I can.
Talk about a walking bass line.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so she'll open it up, and like Quinn knows very little about making violins, but the professor does. So she says very smart things about the types of wood and resonance and that sort of stuff. She's like, "Yeah, I can make you one."
How much would that be, do you think?
Hold on a second while I check the player's handbook.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad it's not like real life because a violin IRL is like.
Well,
Don't even
talk
violin
about it.
IRL, you can pay as much as you want, right? Like, if you want to spend money, you can spend money.
I think my parents were lucky that I chose wind instruments and voice, voice is very cheap, turns out.
Yeah, it
And
is.
the lessons.
Yeah.
It's the only instrument you always have with you. Well, unless you're sick, then you don't.
Hey, my parents picked I picked a hand-me-down instrument, so my parents were even happier.
Yeah,
You know,
that's when my instrument became the hand-me-down for the rest of the family. What was that?
This is gonna be nuts because 30 gold.
That's it?
Oh yeah, you know what?
Okay.
That's what the player's handbook says, and so I guess I've got a bunch of scrap wood lying around, and this is gonna sound like a fun project.
Challenge. Oh, cool. And she's like kind of look at all these things about violins. What kinds of wood do you have?
The good kinds. Quinn doesn't know about violins. I
think this is where you just say okay.
I assume
have
maple and
any, like,
rosewood are good because they're good for guitars. You know.
There you go.
It wouldn't be far off the mark.
Rosewood. I'm gonna just pretend because I know nothing about what woods are best. I played the clarinet. I did have a wood clarinet, but anyway. What about? Oh, this is okay. I'm gonna pull an IRL tree out of here because it's so cool. I read about this in a book once. Do you have? And I see you have a lot of cool kinds of wood in here. Do you happen to have any purple heart wood?
Ooh, that's pretty.
Yeah, that might work. I could do that. It'll cost you a little extra. Let's call it 40. Yeah. Yeah, I could do that for you.
Okay.
Take me a couple of days. You know how to play it?
I think I'm gonna try learning.
You're one of the people staying upstairs, right?
Yeah.
You gotta promise me. Not while people are sleeping.
No.
None of
won't
that beginner
play
string player squeaky while I'm trying to get my 8 out.
Oh god.
May doesn't even really know what she's talking about, but she's gonna be like, "No, I won't play while people are asleep. That would be rude."
Okay. Yeah. Give me. Yeah, I gotta turn over. I got that project. 2 days.
2 days. That's it.
Yeah. What, you want it faster?
Okay. No, that's great. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, pleasure doing business. Oh, I do cash on delivery. I know the rest of the guys have the credit thing going on, but I deal with enough of the sailors on boat repairs. You cannot give sailors credit.
I'll have it for you when I come to pick it up.
It's a deal. She'll stick out her hand.
Okay. May I shake your hand?
Yep.
Thank you. You do lovely work. This is beautiful.
Thank you. I think that's a decent place for us to stop. Thank you, everyone who came out and joined us. We've got plenty more to happen next week, I think. So, yeah. Have a good day, everyone.
Thanks for coming.
See you later.